Hey everyone. Amit, we have talked about the future decentralization Web3 and the journey of Awake and ShopTime. There is this one very interesting thing called Awake Venture Protocol. And before we get into what exactly is Awake Venture Protocol, I would want to start with what is the vision with it first, because that answers a very broader question.
Yeah, I mean, if you recall, Awake's stated goal is 100 million jobs, 10 million entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
And in order to get there, we need to build companies that build companies, right? And so how do you define that process and then scale it in a way that is transparent and, very easy to understand and works globally for people in all industries? We have to just take the essence of what a venture is and put it in a system that anyone can then instantiate, right?
Okay.
And so we combine the referral, tracking universal, commerce network along with new companies now that can be incorporated anywhere. We do it in the US for global entrepreneurs. They might be in India, they might be in Africa, they could be anywhere in the world, who can now, in a very small amount of money, bootstrap a global digital business in the United States, serving the global economy. And, how do you bring founding teams together, and how do you launch these new opportunities and networks? Now becomes a very simple process with our protocol. This is how we're doing it. Others can do it in any way they want. The Awake Venture Protocol is a defined way in which we come together with other people and corporates to co-create new companies, to accelerate maybe their companies, or to incubate, our own new ventures. And it is a very, structured way in which people get equity and, benefits from coming together and helping launch these things. And it's a way for venture developers, which is something all of us do. We help other people, with their companies, and that going away from the notion of advisors, which is interesting also, but now to very specific venture developers and, people that, really drive value for early businesses, for them to be part of that process as well, to be part of the equity and, benefit from the whole value co-creation process in a portfolio manner.
Okay.
So if you read the post on Awake Venture Protocol, it lays out a few formulaic structurings, right? But it's all ultimately the goal is to really drive home the point that it's not a complicated thing. And you can do lots of ventures if you understand what a venture is. It's not anything complicated. It's a P&L, and it should be running a positive cash flow, right? And so how do you get to that, and how do you scale it once you get to that positive cash flow? That's what a venture is, and the internet helps you do that. Now, why is it so complicated and everything else is so much voluminous in terms of what it all means? Is we're just sort of cutting out all that and making it really simple.
Okay. So to get a little bit more deeper, and for our audience also to understand, so the standards are same across all type of startups, all type of founders that come our way, or we have different structures for different stages of the company or different type of verticals. I mean, like, the variety exists, but like what does that our protocol suggest?
It's really just traction, right? Ultimately, the stage of the company is traction, driven by traction, pre-product, idea stage company with the amazing founders, and all the way up to, big companies that need M&A strategy to execute their next, thing. So it's value co-creation. Parties have to come together to recognize value in each other, and then understand what they're getting and contributing and creating. So really it's a template, but as you know, in every scenario, a template means template. We don't want to restrict ourselves by the template, but it's a way to think about, ventures, and it gives a straw man structure for people to think about when they come in. But again, each thing is different, right? Each company is different, but it just is a way for everyone to participate, all the participants to see clearly how they will benefit when they help form these companies, particularly the venture developers and scouts and all the advisory folks and everyone else that helps people raise money. And there's just so many things that happen early stage to get you to 0 to 1 to 10, that that ecosystem needs to be participating very meaningfully and not constantly getting cut out of deals and upside and so on. So really just building something that we can repeat at massive scale, and that anyone can co-opt and do, and then we provide the struts and the rails to do that on.
So we are going one step ahead and empowering people, create more companies, create more jobs, and not only empowering the founder, even the people who are contributing in different capacities, mentors, advisors, like all those type of people coming together, getting their own value out of it, actual value out of it for all their contributions.
Our goal is to bring down the cost and complexity, right, in launching companies and so on, right? So if you see today, the internet enables you to do new companies and new businesses with almost zero cost, but the type of business and platform companies that we are looking to build, we want to bring the cost of bootstrapping them down to 10 grand or less, right? Like if you're talking about today, you raise 100K, and what are your MVP, and you launch something. I'm just talking rough numbers. It's not like you raise the money first, you have to build it first. But what I'm saying is to launch the business and the marketing and the plugging it into the distribution channels, and to really not just go from a product that's kind of got MVP and it's like a thing that you need to test, to really a business that can scale. That process should be very, very simple. It's not today, right? And it should be very cheap. So it should be like 10 grand or less to bootstrap a internet venture from anywhere in the world, headquartered in the United States, with complete integration into all the pieces of technology and the distribution and the people that might help you grow it, and all that stuff should happen in that way. And then so that's a big part of it, right? For like to be able to do massive parallel entrepreneurship. Where now if you refer other people and they launch new companies, you're a referral connection to them. There is benefit on the ledger. There is benefit in equity if you talk to them and you help them accelerate. That's a conversation between the two of you. That's a peer-to-peer economy, right? But we enable that, and we enable all our members, Awake Venture partners, to go out and do that same thing. The body is composed of cells, organs and cells, and the cells have the DNA of the whole body. Right? So you should be able to replicate the complete ecosystem because you're part of the ecosystem. Otherwise, what does it mean to be part of that ecosystem? Right? You're just a sort of a cog in the wheel, right? Are you a cog in the wheel, or are you the complete machine? Or at least have the power of the complete machine as much as anybody else who's part of that machine, right? But no restrictions, complete and unlimited access to the completeness of the internet, for example.
So it makes sense. You're not giving up your freedom. You're not giving up like all those things. When sometimes entrepreneurs or founders are afraid of giving up freedom, giving up their choice of things, their creativity. This is keeping intact each and every aspect of that, along with all the aids required, all the things that are needed for your venture to go to either 0 to 1 or 1 to 10 or 1 to 100, whatever stage you may be in. So we have a sort of
have to completely separate out what can be automated from what cannot be automated, right? And what can be automated is everything that is not new, right? It's already known, right? You know what it has to be done. So the non-new part is automatable. The new part, which has to be which can't be automated because you don't know what it is because you call it creativity. It's something new. So the creator economy and the creativity now is completely disjointed from the non-creative parts, which is frankly, how do you scale a business is frankly quite a simple process. You know, in the end, you can read, like, just to give you an example, the reason there are so many good books about it is because you can talk about it in very specific terms. Right? Like, for example, the cold start problem or any of these books that have come out recently are very well articulated in their specific things. That means anybody can follow it and do it. That means there is a process, right? So that's not a complicated thing. I mean, you need to have all the dashboards in place and that. But this is an AI problem. This is not a complicated thing at all. This is just a machine optimization problem, right? What's not machine optimization problem is creativity. As much as people are talking about synthetic reality, and we ourselves are investing in lots of AI that can, you know, create content of all kinds, it is still not creative, because the judge of something being creative and or not is not the machine. It's the person.
It's the person. It's the person
right?
who's actually saying it.
Right. So ultimately, it is human in the loop. And every human in the loop ultimately becomes a business, in the sense that there is an aspect of their lives which is the economy, and they are a business in that economy and the complete economy. And you can bootstrap any entire ecosystem because you understand what an economy is, and you understand what the internet is, and you understand how to work with people.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.